representing Loyalist MMA. In our last fight, we saw Hunter Snyder. Loyalist MMA just ran away, wanted to support his teammate. And I'm always curious about the psychology of fighting, because the smallest things can have a huge impact on the fight game. For example, these two athletes most likely trained together. Hunter Snyder, who we saw in our last fight, and Thomas Gale. It's like, oh, we've done all the things, the right things. We trained really hard. We know we're going to come out and get the victory. You're sitting in the back, and your opponent loses.
Right.
It's like, wait a second. I did all the same things. I trained as much as this guy did. Am I going to win? Did I do enough? So you can understand how psychology can play such a huge part in this fight game.
Definitely.
The blue corner, making his in-ring debut and representing Loyalist MMA, Thomas Gale. And fighting out of the red corner, making his in-ring debut and representing Team Bushido MMA, Almodazim Saudi.
So I've seen Almo from Team Bushido fight before, and he's very interesting fighter. You know, he's you could tell he's a cerebral fighter, and he brings a lot of confidence and I guess originality to the fight.
Well, I
and
love that.
as you'll see. Yeah, no, he's a very confident kid. I think he's not even done high school. He's still in high school, and he's very focused and determined as far as training goes, as well as competition. When I spoke to him last time, I believe he said his goal was to be in the UFC one
Awesome.
day. And
all of this experience will help, because, you know, a lot of people will say, wait a second, this is Muay Thai. It's not MMA. It's fighting.
right.
This is fighting, whether it's ground fighting, stand-up fighting. You're all learning elements of the overall fight game, and you're getting that experience. And I'm excited to see Almodazim Saudi, who represents Team Bushido.
It's interesting because the Heroes Combat League, as you know, before was amateur MMA league, and when amateur MMA became illegal in this province here in Ontario, a lot of the MMA practitioners who obviously cross-train in Muay Thai, some competed in both. Basically, some who didn't necessarily, who aren't strikers per se, or more grappler types in mixed martial arts, decided to cross over fully, into amateur mixed martial arts, because they still need, regardless, they still need to compete, right? Being competitive and fighting and training. I mean, for some, it's about building a, profile and a variety of fights through, and building up their experience so that they can potentially down the road fight at bigger leagues and so on and so forth. So it's an interesting effect how the banning of MMA has, to a certain degree, augmented the number of Muay Thai competitive, amateur competitive practitioners.
Slow and steady wins the race. You got to look at the bigger picture, and all of these different types of competition and combat sports can only aid you if your goal is, as you mentioned, to get to the world's big stage.
What's your initial assessment of both competitors as far as
I like their focus. I will, based on what I've seen so far, neither fighter's focused on what the other guy's doing right now. They're focused on their own thing instead of, staring over. You guys are going to fight. Right now is the time for each one of them to drink in this experience, and I think they're doing that, and I love that. And you mentioned Almo. I just love his demeanor. I love the fact that he's not showcasing any nerves.
Yeah, he's a very confident young man, and I mean that confidence translates in his ability. He believes in himself in there, and I'm sure his opponent certainly has the same belief in self, because you need to believe in yourself if you're stepping in there and competing against someone else. I mean, I think confidence is something is a prerequisite for these sports. I mean, you can build your confidence up through competition, but having it initially is certainly added value.
He's dealing with some equipment issues. We'll be underway.
So, John, now what sports do you like commentating the most on? Muay Thai, boxing, MMA? What's your go-to favorite sport to call?
I would have to say when I look back in my personal history and I think about some of the things that I have called, a couple of them would be modified Muay Thai, being the K1 shows that I call, having the chance to call Buakao's fights live ringside in Thailand, or being in Spain, having a chance to call Andy Sauer's fights for K1. Just such a great honor, but I love it all. I'm just such a fan of combat sports, getting to work for CBC to call the Pan Am Games and seeing Jordan Burroughs perform, seeing the royalty of wrestling. But it's all so different, but it's also the same. I love it so much. I love the details. I love the differences, whether it's jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai or boxing or kickboxing.
Right.
I just think that there's something special about the overall idea of martial arts that it really doesn't matter to me, because I'm learning something new each time. I'm seeing how techniques and tactics can work in competition and for self-defense. So I'm just so thrilled to be able to do what I do.
Thomas Gale versus Almo Zgudi. It's Belleville versus Ottawa here at Heroes Combat Leaves. Spring beats.
Fast attack from the Loyalist representative in the blue.
Double jab by Almo.
Another kick intercepted. Two exchange knees in the clinch. Looking for the sweep.
Gale's corner was enthusiastically calling and asking him to throw knees there. Look at the quickness of those combinations. Staring right at him, not even blinking.
Just trying to process everything that's going on. Nice techniques landed. And a right hook scores for Gale. Goody having a hard time trying to get a read on his fast opponent.
This is getting vicious fast. They rammed in.
Oh my goodness. Aggressive push kick landed for Gale. Looking for the clinch. Somebody told him this is a Muay Thai fight, right? There are no double leg takedowns. Very speedy. Goody trying his best to solve the riddle.
Look at the power on that.
Muscles his way through as the round comes to an end.
John, these guys are 130 pounds, but I'll tell you what, the way they're moving around here and the way they're throwing with all that power, it's impressive. We're seeing some explosive athleticism here tonight, and youth is definitely on both of these competitors' side, and it's fascinating to see that how quick, I mean, both competitors, but Almo, man, just running around here, throwing these quick combinations, and as he's throwing, he's steering right at his opponent, man. That is some
It is amazing.
serious ability.
One of the things I've heard for years and years that, you know, the 125 pounders or the 135 pounders, yeah, they may be fast, but they lack power. That's something that is changing across the board. We are seeing that these young, smaller fighters are developing their punching and knockout power, and it is incredible to see.
Massive clinch with plenty of knees out here, landing 8, 9, almost 10.
Gale ramping up the points. The corner of Gale believing that Zagudi would not be able to handle the clinch.
Let's see if he can execute that order from the corner there.
Trying to muscle inside. He does manage to get a hold of this clinch position. Almo avoiding.
Let's see if Gale can, Thomas Gale can exploit this potential vulnerability here.
And you just get the sense that Almo's confidence starting to rise. Maybe he feels he saw the best, processed the best of his opponent. Now it's time for him to play his game.
He's getting his hair fixed there. I guess it was blocking his vision. I have got that problem too.
I'm with you. And the combat resumes in the middle of the ring. Gale still aggressive. Back to that clinch position. Almo not allowing him to get some freebies. Corner of Zagudi telling him to go, go, go. Do they feel that their man is down in this fight?
I gotta say, I think this round definitely went to Thomas Gale here. As you mentioned, he found a vulnerability here, and that's dominating the clinch and landing those vicious repeated knees right into his opponent, who was just taking them essentially. What would you be telling Almo?
Don't get in the clinch. and you know he's going to come for it. Make him pay. Make him pay once he gets into that space. Make him pay and exit right away. But the corner of Gale believes that if you stick with 2 minutes of aggression, that he will win this fight. And he could be spot on.
This is it, folks.
And that
was he attempting to go for a leg lock there?
Yeah, exactly. And that seems to be a weapon of choice for Almo, those low leg kicks as he goes high. Nice counters now. Gale wildly gets himself in. Almost a push there. Some back and forth, but I don't think either fighter gained an edge. Certainly seems to be the better boxer. Crisper strikes. But Gale certainly landing with those long round kicks.
Under a minute to go here in round number 3.
Gale slowing down. Lead left hook. Stepped off the line and scored with that right hand. Agudi. Will it come down to these final seconds? Here at the Salacen Marco Hall.
Man, what a war.
Wow.
What a war.
Awesome stuff.
And it's going to judge's decision. You know what? I'm happy I'm not a friggin' judge.
That is me every single time I watch a fight. A real thankless job.
You know what? I think it'll definitely have to be a split decision victory for I don't know, blue or red, but it's definitely a split. It's got to be a split.
As long as green doesn't win it or purple doesn't win it.
Whoop, there it is.
We'll send it up to our ring announcer, Dylan Black, for our official decision from this 130-pound battle.
And the winner of this contest, as a result of a split decision, fighting out of the blue corner, Thomas Gale.
That is the way she goes sometimes, and I have to believe one of the reasons why Gale was just so aggressive and so fast, and he came out like a man possessed over those first couple of rounds.
That aggression, that consistent, persistent aggression definitely pays off, and I mean, there's judges out here, you know, they're counting for that. They want to see who's dominating the pace, and yeah. Great effort by Almo.
100%.
Hope to see both of these competitors back here at Heroes Combat League.